Hello, this is a review for your Polynomial Mid-Chapter 5 test over Polynomial Basics. So first one asks us to describe the end behavior of the graph of the function. So the end behavior is determined by two different things, the degree and the leading coefficient. So if we look at this, the degree right here is 6, so that's an even number. And our leading coefficient is also 6, that's a positive number. Okay, because this is positive, I know that the right side will go up, and because it's even, I know that the ends go in the same direction. So both our left side and our right side go up. And the way I write this symbolically is I say that it goes up on the left. So f of x approaches infinity as x approaches negative infinity. It goes up on the left. It also goes up on the right, so f of x approaches positive infinity as x approaches positive infinity. We get to some factoring problems. So number 2, all three terms have an h, so I can factor an h out, and I'm left with h squared plus 10h plus 16. And then the numbers that multiply to give me 16 and add to give me 10 are 2 and 8. So it can be written as h times h plus 2 and h plus 8. Our next factoring problem is a sum of cubes, okay? So x cubed and 343. 343 is 7 cubed. So here my a is going to be x and my b is going to be 7. I'm going to substitute that into my sum of cubes formula. So I'm going to write this as x plus 7. Remember, this first symbol is the same as is right here. My next symbol is going to be opposite. So I'm going to have x squared minus x times 7 is 7x. And then this last operation is always plus, and then 7 squared. So 7 times 7 is 49. Then we have a difference of cubes, but this also has a greatest common factor. Okay, these are both divisible by not only 10, but s to the 7th. So if I take a 10s to the 7th out, I'm going to be left with s to the 3rd minus 64. So here my a value is going to be s, my b value is going to be the number to the 3rd that gives us 64. The cubed root of 64 is 4. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. So this could be factored as I still have the 10s to the 7, then I have s minus, because I have a minus right here, 4, and then I'm going to have s squared plus, that's the opposite symbol, 4s plus 16, and that is factored completely. The next factoring problem, I need to factor by grouping. Okay, so if I look at my first two terms, they both have a y squared as their greatest common factor. So if I take out a y squared, I'd be left with y plus 6. Then my next two terms are both negative. I'm going to take out a negative 2 because they're both divisible by 2, and then I'd have y plus 6. Both of these have a y plus 6, so I'm going to write y plus 6, and then I have left y squared minus 2. This next problem doesn't have great instructions with it. First thing you want to know is it a polynomial? So looking at it, I have numbers and variables, but my variables, they only have whole number exponents, so that lets me know that yes, it is a polynomial. Then I want to write it in standard form. So standard form is whenever you write it in decreasing order by the exponent. So my highest exponent is a 4th. So I'm going to have f of x is equal to x to the 4th. Then my next exponent is this negative 6x squared. And then I have an x, so 1/7 x plus 9. I also want to know what the degree is. So the degree is the highest exponent, that is 4. That makes this a quartic function. And the leading coefficient is 1. I don't have any number out there, so it is a 1. Again, not great instructions on that. Instructions on your test will be more clearer. Synthetic division to evaluate the function for the indicated value of x. So remember that with synthetic division, we can substitute this number in and be able to find out what that would be, instead of plugging 5 into all of these x's and then working that out, because that's going to give you some large numbers, you can plug it in with synthetic division. So I'm going to put my 5 right here, and then I'm writing my exponents in decreasing order, so I have my coefficients in decreasing order by exponents. So I've got a -3, then a 16, then -14, and then -10. And remember, with synthetic division, you're going to bring down your first number, and then you multiply up. So 5 times -3 is -15, and then add down. So 16 plus a -15 is 1. Multiply up, 5 times 1 is 5. Add down, -9. Multiply up, -45, and add down, that is -55. Now, if we were dividing, this would be your reduced polynomial and this would be your remainder. But since we are evaluating, this is the number. So if I plugged 5 in for all those x's and worked that out, the answer I would get would be -55. Number 8, you have to graph it. You can graph this just on your calculator. Going y equals 2 minus x to the 4th, a regular window. That's all it's looking for, is if you can plug these numbers in and graph that. Y is equal to, clear this out, 2x squared plus 4 minus x to the 5th. And there's your graph. Alright, number 10, find the product. So now we're going to be multiplying. So you can do this either a horizontal format as it's already lined out, or a vertical format. I'm going to show you a vertical format just because we've done that a little bit less. But you can do either way. So with the vertical format, I'm going to multiply everything by -x first. So I get -2x cubed, -3x squared, minus 2x. Then I'm going to go back through and multiply by 2. So it gives me 4x squared plus 6x plus 4. Then I'm going to combine my like terms. Now, I've stacked my x squared terms and my x's so that I can just add straight down. I get -2x to the 3rd plus x squared plus 4x plus 4. Number 11, I'm just distributing, and so whenever I'm multiplying the coefficients and adding the exponents. So this is going to be a -54 x to the 5th, a +36 x to the 4th, a +18 x cubed, and a -48 x squared. Number 12 is a product of a sum and difference. So I've got y minus 1 and y plus 1. So it's going to be just that this is going to end up always being a squared minus b squared. So this will end up being y squared minus 1. You can always multiply that out and get the same answer though. Number 13 says to evaluate it for the given value of x. You can do that two different ways. You can plug a -7 in for all of those, or you could do with synthetic substitution again. So -7, I'm plugging that into -7, 8, -7, -6. So drop that down, that's a -7. Multiply up, that's 49. 8 and 49 is 57. Woo! I've gotten some big numbers already. So 57 times -7 is -399. -399 plus a -7 is going to be -406. -406 times -7 is 2842, and then if I have a -6 plus that, that's going to give me 2836. The other way you could have done that is just to type it in. So -7, and then put your -7 cubed plus 8 times negative 7 squared minus 7 times negative 7 minus 6. Same answer. Number 14, divide using synthetic division. Okay, so again, synthetic division, remember whenever you have a factor like this, okay, and to be able to use synthetic division, this first term must have a coefficient of 1, and it cannot be to a power, so it couldn't be an x squared. It's just got to be that first degree x. So you got x plus 2. So I put the opposite number right here. So I have a negative 2 right there, or the 0 for that. And then I write these in decreasing order. So I've got a 1, a negative 3, and a negative 15. Drop my 1, negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, add down, negative 5, negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10, add down, I get a negative 5. So whenever I have this, okay, so this guy right here is my remainder. This one will be the constant, and this will be x to the first degree. If I'd kept on going, so I had something here, it'd be x squared, and they just keep going up in order. So I'm going to write this as x minus 5 plus, and my remainder, negative 5 over what I divided by. So I divided by x plus 2, so that's coming right down here, x plus 2. Sometimes you'll also see this as x minus 5 and then your minus right here. It can be written either way. Find the difference. So here we're just subtracting, and instead of subtracting these, I'm going to distribute this negative and then just add it. So I'm distributing this negative to everything inside this. So this will change signs. So will this. This will become negative, positive, positive. So 6x cubed plus x cubed is 7x cubed. Negative 5x squared minus 3x squared is a negative 8x squared. Negative 4x plus 2x is a negative 2x. And negative 9 plus 7 is a negative 2. Number 16. Sketch the graph of the polynomial function having the given characteristics. Use the graph to describe the degree and leading coefficient of the function. Okay, so on your sketch, you're only going to have x values, so you only need to scale your x-axis. So I see a negative 3, a negative 5, a positive 3, and a positive 5. So I'm going to make sure that it goes over to at least that far on both sides. Alright, and I know f of x is decreasing, so it's going down from negative infinity to negative 3. And then it's increasing from negative 3 to infinity. So it's going down and then it goes up. So this negative 3 right here will be a minimum. Then it's increasing from negative 3 to 3, and then at 3 it starts decreasing. So it's going up, then it starts going down. So this 3 will be a maximum. F of x is greater than 0, that's when it's above the x-axis on the intervals from negative infinity to negative 5, and 0, so it's above the x-axis from negative infinity to negative 5, then it drops below from negative 5 to 0, then it comes back up above from 0 to 5, and then it drops down below from 5 to infinity. So these numbers, negative 5, 0, and 5, those are all x-intercepts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 5, 0, and positive 5. Those are my x-intercepts. And I have a minimum at negative 3 and a maximum at positive 3. So I know that this is going down, 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 crosses the x-axis, hits the minimum, comes back up, is above, hits my maximum, comes back down, and then goes down. Now this graph goes down on the right, and that lets me know that my leading coefficient is negative. Leading coefficient is negative. And then I see that my ends go in two different directions. This one goes up and that one goes down. And that lets me know that my degree is odd. Right, then I'm going to find the sum. So I have 8x to the 6th plus 6x to the 5th minus 9x squared plus 7x plus 2x to the 5th plus x cubed plus 8x squared minus 5x plus 10. So I only have one x to the 5th, the 8x to the to the 6th. I'm going to write it down, 8x to the 6th. Now I've used it. I have a 2x to the 5th and a 6x to the 5th. I'll combine those to be 8x to the 5th. I have no x to the 4th term, so my next term is this x cubed. I have a negative 9x squared and a positive 8x squared to combine to give me a negative x squared. Positive 7x minus 5x is a positive 2x plus 10. All right. Find the product of the binomial. So here I'm going to be multiplying again. I like to start off with these two. It doesn't matter which order you do these in, but I like to work with my last two first. So I'm going to have x squared minus x plus 6x minus 6. So that's going to be x plus 1 times, and I'm going to combine these. So I'll have x squared, negative x plus 6 is 5x minus 6. Now I'm going to multiply again. So I'm going to get an x cubed plus 5x squared minus 6x. Then I'm going to go back through and multiply everything by 1. So I'm going to have an x squared plus 5x minus 6. Combine my like terms, I have x cubed plus 6x squared minus x minus 6. Divide using polynomial long division. So I'm going to do number 19 right down here so I just have a little bit more room. So I've got x squared plus 2x plus 1 out front, and inside I'm going to have x cubed plus x squared plus 3x minus 4. So x squared times what gives me x cubed? That's an x, so I'm going to put it right here. And x times x squared is x cubed. X times 2x is 2x squared. And x times 1 is an x. Then I'm going to subtract. So I can change all my symbols. Those would all be negative, and add down. This term cancels. X squared minus 2x squared is a negative x squared. 3x minus x is a positive 2x minus 4. X squared times what gives me negative x squared? Well, that's a negative 1. So negative x squared, negative 2x, and a negative 1. Then I'm going to combine these. Remember, I'm subtracting, so I'm going to change all my symbols. These cancel. I have 4x minus 3. X squared can't go into 4x minus 3, so this is my remainder. So I'm going to write this as x minus 1 plus my remainder, 4x minus 3, divided by what I divided by right here, x squared plus 2x plus 1. Number 20, use Pascal's triangle to expand the binomial. So remember, Pascal's triangle starts off with a 1 on top, and it's always got 1s on the outside. So this is 1 and 1. And then your inside's made up by adding these. So 1 and 1 is 2, and this is 1. Then I'm going to have a 1. 1 and 2 is 3. 2 and 1 is 3, and then a 1. A 1, 1 and 3 is 4. 3 and 3 is 6. 3 and 1 is 4, and a 1. A 1, 1 and 4 is 5, 4 and 6 is 10, 6 and 4 is 10, 4 and 1 is 5, and this is a 1. And this is to the 5th, so I'm going to use this 5th row right here. Remember, this is the 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th row. So these are going to be what I multiply my coefficients by. So remember that with expanding a binomial, I'm going to have this first, and then a to the 5th, and no b term. Plus, and then 5, and my a terms go down 1 each time. So this is going to be a to the 4th, and my b terms go up 1 each time. So this will be b plus 10 a cubed b squared plus 10 a squared b cubed plus 5 a b to the fourth plus 1 b to the fifth. And in this, my a value is x and my b value is negative 2. So I'm going to write this once with just x's and negative 2's, and then I'm going to simplify it. So I'm going to have 1 x to the fifth plus 5 x to the fourth times negative 2 plus 10 x cubed negative 2 squared plus 10 x squared negative 2 to the third plus 5 x negative 2 to the fourth plus negative 2 to the fifth. So then whenever I simplify this, I'm going to have x to the fifth plus, or sorry, what's your symbols because this is a minus right here? Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, x to the fourth. Negative 2 squared is 4 times 10 is 40, x cubed. Negative 2 to the third is negative 8 times 10 is a negative 80, x squared. Negative 2 to the fourth is 16 times 5 is a positive 80 to the x. And negative 2 to the fifth is going to be a minus 32.